kick is good. And the Bears win it. Jake Moody, a hero tonight. Chiefs.
First of all, our fans were phenomenal. It's great to have an opportunity to come back to GH Field, Arrowhead, and play in front of them. Appreciate their support. And then as far as the team went, I thought there were some really good things that took place. And as far as Josh's situation goes, it's a personal issue. I'm not going to talk about that. I did a little bit last night and then leave it at that. But I thought Jalen stepped in and did a nice job there. And I mentioned that it's a tribute to Andy Heck and the way he rotates all of his guys and make sure that they can play. And Jalen's played a couple different spots, both sides at the tackle, both sides at the guard. So he's busy during practice hitting all these things. But and offensively, again, it was good to see Patrick and Kels hook up for a few nice catches there, and then getting Hollywood in the end zone. Hollywood's a good player. We got a lot of guys, and we're going to end up here adding one with Rasheed. So it's hard to get everybody going, but I thought Patrick did a nice job of getting everybody involved and spreading things around.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's Tuesday, October 14th, 2025. Stephen St. John, Nate Bukaty will be here for a couple of hours. Jake Gutierrez, Deebs will talk to former Chiefs wide receiver Mark Borichter. Also, Jeff Chadia from NFL Network and NFL.com. Jeff Kerr from CBSSports.com. And we're going to talk to a good friend of the show, Billy Brimblecom, about the upcoming event that raises money for Steps of Faith Foundation. Thunder Gong is on its way to town, and we made sure to have Billy come in when Nate wasn't here because that's how we do it every year. That's the only time Billy could come in.
I think I might swing back by and say hi.
Nope.
Dang it.
Move Billy to Wednesday.
Please.
I'm moving him. I'm moving to Thursday.
Move him to Thursday.
Deactivate Nate's key.
I'm free Thursday.
Move him to whenever Nate's out of town.
I'm not traveling anymore.
Book Nate on a flight.
You just won a free trip, Nate.
Hey, where I go?
Home.
Anywhere.
Home.
Come on back by. We'll always welcome you.
Billy. Good dude.
That was a very eventful Monday in the world of sports. We had a Major League Baseball playoff doubleheader. We saw the Seattle Mariners take a commanding lead in the ALCS, beating the Blue Jays in Toronto 10-3. And so they go on the road and win 2 games. And now they're up 2-0 heading home to Seattle. Unfortunately, the Brewers could not beat the Dodgers in Game 1 of the NLCS because I've been rooting for a Mariners-Brewers World Series since the regular season. They could still happen, but the Dodgers, behind the terrific pitching of Blake Snell, beat the Brewers 2-1 in Game 1 of the NLCS. And so while you had the baseball going on, you had a Monday night football doubleheader that you listened to right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. And that was fun because neither team that was expected to win won. And so they were both somewhat surprising results. Although, I was on Atlanta yesterday, on them to do something. That was a big statement opportunity for them, and they made their statement. And they beat the Buffalo Bills last night in Atlanta. A very, very big win for Atlanta, and a loss that sends the Bills back to the drawing board. The Falcons win 24-14 in Atlanta over the Bills, and the Bills defense, look, Bijan Robinson's one of the best running backs in football.
Back to the drawing board.
But the Bills defense, they got some real issues, because even though he's one of the best running backs in football, you should not be giving up 19 carries and 170 yards to anybody, along with 6 catches for 68 yards. Then when you mix in Tyler Algier and what he did, 32 carries, 210 yards, 6.6 yards per carry, and a couple of touchdowns on the ground. And oh, by the way, they could not cover Drake London either. 10 catches, 158 yards. And the Falcons beat the Bills 24-14. And the Bills defense had a chance to get a stop and get off the field and give Josh Allen a chance to tie the game, but they couldn't get a stop. Atlanta kicked a field goal, and then the Bills, in a desperation drive, moved down the field before Allen threw an interception. And so now I'm very anxious to hear all of the commentary from around the nation now about how Josh Allen is struggling and how the Bills aren't who we thought they were, and maybe their window is closing. Let's hear all that talk. Keep that same energy about Buffalo that you did about Kansas City. Mr. MVP, 15 of 26, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. All right? The commentary we'd be hearing on ESPN, they'd be falling all over themselves to declare Patrick Mahomes just another quarterback, and now he's coming back down to earth, and we've seen the best of Patrick Mahomes and this, that, and everything else they've tried to throw out there when the Chiefs were struggling. Buffalo does not look good. Even when they were winning, they did not look good. There were warning signs. Yes, they beat the Ravens 41-40, but you remember they were down 15 in the fourth quarter. Had Derrick Henry not fumbled, what would the conversation be about Buffalo right now? They handled the Jets, but the Jets are an embarrassment to New York and the NFL. The Jets will probably win a football game, but they haven't yet. They haven't yet. They almost beat the Broncos, but almost doesn't count. They're over. Remember, the Bills had their hands full with the Dolphins and the Saints. Then they got beat at home by the Patriots, and now they lose at the Falcons. Sean McDermott, Jake's favorite coach, says now they need to use the bye week to reset, to start over. And guess what? Do you remember all the talk about this Bills schedule so easy? This Bills schedule, I mean, they're going to end up, 1 or 2 losses this year? Give them the 1 seed. This is why in the NFL and in college football, just football in general, it's so difficult to look at a schedule before the season starts or even in the first few weeks of the season and have real confidence in picking games, because you don't know who's going to turn into a good team. You don't know who's going to take a huge step back. Say, for instance, playing the Ravens now ain't the same thing as it was in the offseason, is it? No. Playing the Patriots now, that's not the same thing as it was perceived in the offseason. No. And so now, I mean, I don't know. I thought that Buffalo had a real chance to be 6-0 at this point. They're 4-2. And now when they come out of their bye week, they play at Carolina. That seemed like a gimme before the season. That's not a gimme anymore. And Bryce Young's actually playing well, and they have playmakers. They have the biggest playmaker in the NFL over the past 2 years. Over the past 2 games. He's put up, about 500 yards of total offense? Rico Dowdle, who left Dallas. What kind of contract they give him, Jake, by the way? Go ahead and throw him in the mix now of running backs that got super reasonable contracts in the offseason and are now exploding with production.
1 year, $2.75 million. 1 year.
And what's he done over the past?
Has a potential to reach up to 6.25 with incentives.
Okay, well, that means that he's had a good season.
But the deal is fully guaranteed, includes $1 million signing bonus and a salary base of 2.75 and 3.5 up to performance incentives. But base contract was 2.75.
Last year he rushed for over 1,000 yards.
1 year.
Right. But what's he done his last 2 games?
Crushed it.
Well,
He's been the most productive player in the league the last 2 games.
see here.
He's sure as hell been the best fantasy player in the league the last 2 games.
I mean, he had 206 yards rushing against the Dolphins 2 weeks ago and 183 on the ground against the Cowboys last week.
Decent.
That's just rushing.
Well, yeah, he had 206 on the ground and 28 receiving against Miami, and then against Dallas, 183 on the ground and 56 receiving. It's another running back that was out there. But that's what the Bills have up next. Is that a gimme? No.
Doesn't look like it.
And then guess who they play? The Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs are better than the Bills right now. The Chiefs are just better than the Bills. I mean, we see that in the playoffs every year. But a couple of weeks ago, it looked like the Bills were better than the Chiefs. That does not look that way right now. And, oh, by the way, Rashee Rice is back. Then they got to play at the Dolphins. They should win that game, but they struggle with the Dolphins. I mean, I don't know. Miami's playing competitive football. I would say, sure, I would pick Buffalo to win, but I don't say that with confidence anymore. Then they play the Buccaneers. They're going to beat the Bucs.
It's a tough game.
Baker Mayfield is right now, I think, a better MVP candidate than Josh Allen is. Then they play at the Texans. Then they play at the Steelers.
4-1.
There's no gimmies right there. Home against the Bengals, that's a gimme.
By the way, the MVP odds moved last night on DraftKings, and right now Patrick Mahomes is the plus 185 favorite. Josh Allen plus 300. Baker Mayfield plus 350. That's live odds right now on DraftKings.
And then they have to play at the Patriots. So all of a sudden, that schedule looks a lot different. And oh, by the way, while you're looking at Buffalo's schedule, and we heard all this about how the Chiefs were going to have their hands full trying to win the AFC West, and the Broncos' defense is really good, but their quarterback is not good. Bo Nix is not good. And the Chiefs, I fully believe, are going to end up winning this division. But Buffalo, first of all, Buffalo right now tied with New England, and New England has the head-to-head because they beat them in Buffalo. But as I told you, how things develop, if you want to see what an easy rest of the way schedule is, take a look at New England. And then, Jake, maybe throw some bones on New England to win the AFC East. There's a tough game here or there sprinkled in, but at the Titans, Home against the Browns, home against the Falcons might be tough. At the Bucs will certainly be tough, but home against the Jets, at the Bengals, home against the Giants, the rematch against the Bills, but at the Ravens, at the Jets, the Dolphins. You got to love that schedule, the way Drake May's playing and the way Mike Vrabel has that team playing.
Plus 160 right now to win the East.
New England's going to be a big problem for Buffalo, and Buffalo has to go to there and win to avoid the sweep. And so, moral of the story is, no, Buffalo's not the best team in the AFC anymore. That was fun while that lasted, but they got real problems, and they got real issues. And one of the biggest problems they got, and they're going to have, the new boss is the same as the old boss. It's the Chiefs. The Chiefs put it on Detroit. And man, it's been amazing, the whining and the crying on social media from not only Detroit fans, but media and Detroit players. This Kirby Joseph, her defensive back, got all pissed off because a reporter asked him how difficult it was to play against Patrick Mahomes. He cut him off, cursing. That ain't difficult. That ain't hard at all. F that. It's not. Kind of looked pretty difficult on Sunday night to play against Patrick Mahomes. Call me crazy. I don't know.
Denial ain't just a river in Egypt, you know.
You know? Seemed like it was tough. And I'm saying all this right now. If the season ended today, the Chiefs would be on the outside looking in of the playoff picture, which is crazy to think. But, I mean, do you think it's going to end that way?
No.
People might want it to end that way, but it's not gonna. Mm-mm. And I'm just being real. Am I a homer? Okay, call me a homer. Call me whatever you want. I don't care.
I don't care.
But
like
look at the teams right now in the AFC. Indianapolis. Oh, please put the Chiefs against Indianapolis in the playoffs. At Indy, I don't care. I don't care where they play. Chiefs are beating them. I'm sorry. The Chiefs are not going to lose to a football team quarterbacked by Daniel Jones in the playoffs. Playoff Mahomes is not losing. Playoff Spags is not losing to that team and that quarterback. The Steelers? Okay, I'll listen. But again, I asked for that matchup. I've longed for that matchup. Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, we'd all love to see that. I'd love to see that. I'll take the Chiefs. Chiefs get another crack at the Chargers? I think the Chiefs are better. The Patriots look really good. Give me the Chiefs. Buffalo? I always look forward to the Chiefs playing Buffalo in the postseason because the Chiefs win. And that version of Buffalo, Buffalo's got plenty to worry about right now. And we'll see what happens when they play in the regular season in a couple of weeks. But right now, I think the Chiefs look better than Buffalo. They lost to Jacksonville. You got to give credit to Jacksonville. But I think as the season goes on and we move on, again, we'll find out that was more about the Chiefs than Jacksonville. Pick sixes and double-digit penalties and such. And then you have the Broncos. Are the Broncos built to beat the Chiefs and beat them in the AFC West?
They're built to try.
Do you believe right now that they will win the AFC West, the Denver Broncos?
No.
I don't. I do not. And so even though the Chiefs are sitting at 3-3, I believe they are the best team in the AFC. and they got Rashee Rice coming back. And maybe I'm the idiot. Maybe I'm crazy. But none of those teams scare me. Have the Chiefs lost to a couple of those teams? Yeah. But the Chiefs didn't play their best football. And the Chiefs, again, they've shown, get into the tournament, get into the dance, and it doesn't matter who they play or where they play them. Does it? We've already gone through when you finally get them away from Arrowhead, that's when they'll fall apart. No, they went to Buffalo and won. They went to Baltimore and won. They beat Lamar Jackson in an MVP season. They beat Josh Allen in an MVP season. Chiefs are the best team in the AFC. Now, they got to go out and show consistency and show and be the team that we saw on Sunday night against Detroit. That team playing clean football and not committing goofy penalties and not turning the ball over, they're not losing to anyone. They go out and throw a pick six. They go out and have 10 or 11 penalties, drop passes, things like that. They can lose. They, and I hate when people say this, but I think it's true here. The team that can beat the Chiefs. So let's go. And Rashee Rice is back. And it's Raider week. Come on, let's go. You guys disagree?
No, I think it's all spot on, 100%.
Jacob?
No, I think that's the thing, though. I don't think there's any dominant team in the NFL right now. I mean,
that's the way the NFL wants it.
Right. I think any given Sunday that, I think some Sundays Chiefs show up, they could be the best team. I think a version of the Bills, they show up, they could be the best team. We've seen good and bad, and there's just nobody who's going to grab this. It's going to be a dogfight to the end. And there's nobody who looks like they are going to take control of this, conference.
I think by the end of the season, it will look like that.
I hope so. But there's a lot of football. It's still early, and it's on the table.
Yeah, the Chiefs got to stay pissed off.
Well, and they,
you know what I mean? Like
they're behind the eight ball. They got work to do.
Yeah, like
right?
they were focused. They were mad. They were hurt. They were all these things going into the Lions game, and they played like it. And if they do that, nobody's as good as them in this conference.
No,
they don't have as much work to do as you thought they were going to have to.
No, and I said all along, get to 3-3 when they get Rashee Rice back, and they're going to be fine. They're going to be just fine.
But nobody had Buffalo losing a couple of games. We thought they were going to run away with this thing because of their schedule.
No, absolutely. But, I mean, I still think Josh Allen's amazing. That defense is, and I said it yesterday, that super suspect. Sus, as the kids say, Nate.
Yes, total sus. But I would say that, Josh Allen was a 6'7", last night. He wasn't great.
He was all right.
Sure, I misused that.
I'm
a couple picks, though. They only put up 14 points,
Right. No, I'm just it's on the table. There's nobody there's not a team in this conference that scares me.
But I think everyone should be scared of the Chiefs because this is what they do.
Yeah.
And when you get to the postseason, this is what they do.
And they have a tendency to get better defensively as the year goes on. With Spags, we've been talking about that for years.
They're in a great spot.
Absolutely. And they get the Raiders on Sunday, and Rashee Rice is back.
You got to take care of business.
Very exciting.
TCB.
We've seen crappy Raiders teams come in to Arrowhead and give Chiefs all the fight that they want. Just look at last year. That was a crappy Raiders team, and outside of a idiot snap.
Hey, the year before. Christmas Day.
Yep. So go take care of business.
I think the Chiefs are a better football team than they were last year.
Absolutely.
And that sounds crazy because there's no way they can match their record. But I think this team is better. Simply because of the left tackle position.
Yep.
But then also the full complement of wide receivers. Yeah, I do. I do think they're better than last year. And the most important thing is being better than last year when it comes to the postseason. Right. And this is still a team last year that went to the Super Bowl. So I know, big stretch. I think the AFC team that goes to the Super Bowl every year is the best team in the AFC.
Hot take.
Wild, isn't it? We'll take a break. Back after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB. What's up, Kansas City? Steven St. John here for QC Kinetics. And, more and more these days, people who are in pain are taking control of their health and looking beyond the traditional medicine. That's why QC Kinetics is so successful. People with chronic joint pain, like my wife, are learning that there are other options besides steroids, meds, and surgery. Patients fighting pain are getting lasting relief using advanced cellular level treatments. It's QC Kinetics regenerative medicine. They can revitalize your joints using growth factors from your own body. It's a simple injection, not a hospital stay. It's fast and all natural, no downtime. So if your back or your knees, your shoulder hurt all the time, you need to explore all your options. Be smart. Don't let them tell you more pills or surgery are your only choices. Call QC Kinetics and get a free consultation. Thousands of patients around the country find a better life with QC Kinetics and their amazing regenerative treatments. Call now to get scheduled. 816-412-6299. Appointments are available on Saturdays as well. Off 435 in State Line and also in Gladstone. 2 locations. 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics. Welcome back to New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Thank you very much for joining us. Normally, Lance Leipold comes on the show around this time on Tuesday, and Jake, he was unable to come on the show, correct?
Yeah, it's off week. I believe, I think he might be out recruiting, so he's unavailable this morning. But there's some times that are available that we might be able to work something out later in the week, or we'll just
That's the bye week.
wait till next week and preview the big Sunfeller Showdown.
Let him recruit. How do you guys feel about the 11 a.m. kickoff for the Sunflower Showdown?
I'm good with it. Let's get it going, you know?
All right, the Sunflower Showdown.
Why waste time? Let's go.
I'm fine with it.
So did you not know about what happened with the tortillas and everything and the pocket knife?
No, my wife texted me yesterday. Was like, somebody got hit with a knife at the game, and I was like, wait, what? And so I looked it up and saw somebody. I knew about the tortillas. I didn't realize somebody threw a pocket knife.
Yeah, Lance and Joey McGuire got into it after the game on the field. But I guess Joey McGuire said they've texted each other and they're good
all
now.
good.
But it was a heated moment, and both had to talk about it in the post-game press conference. Because you've been down there and you've experienced that.
Yeah, I've never been hit by anything like a knife. I've had a tortilla thrown at me, which I didn't. You know, that's not. I wasn't too worried about my safety there, but the pocket knife, man.
Jake didn't like any of that stuff being thrown.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous.
He said
that
none
the
of
Big 12's like, yeah, it's okay. You can throw tortillas once. How about you just don't throw anything on the field?
Yeah, I mean that seems like a fairly
Right. It seems like a pretty reasonable, sane.
straightforward policy.
Right. How about
Yeah.
don't throw anything on the field?
Yeah.
It's not the policy, though.
You can throw one tortilla.
We'll give you one.
Yeah,
we'll
well,
give you one.
like,
Make it a good one.
It's like, are you kidding me?
At the start of the game.
Right, but it's like,
Yeah.
how about no? You can't throw anything on the field. If you do, you get fined and kicked out of the stadium. Because then people start throwing other things other than tortillas. It's just it
You
baffles.
want to play Lance's comments about the tortillas?
If you want, I can grab them.
Well, I mean,
hear
you're
it.
talking about
Yeah, I
it.
want to hear it.
Nate's hasn't heard all this stuff. Why don't you want Nate to be a part of this?
I don't know.
You what?
I do want him. It's stupid. I hate it.
Well, but
I
it's
hate it. I hate it.
only anyone. I mean, I don't know who likes it. Texas Tech probably likes it because they won big, but I mean, you have to. It's a story. That's what we were going to ask Lance about when he came on the show. I mean, right? When you're exchanging fiery words with the opposing head coach at the handshake after the game, and then both coaches have to address it in the press conference. Okay, play Lance.
They were penalized a couple of times for objects on the field over his head. Do you feel like that was handled?
Very poorly. Our conference office and Scott Draper and them were very poor at handling it. They said was one of the officials almost got hit and tried to throw a flag and it got picked up, so that was disappointing. We have a policy put in that wasn't followed through, so I was very disappointed on how that was. It's obviously they have a great crowd. They really get into it and do some things, but I know the officials were just as frustrated after the one penalty was picked up by whatever they call the rock, wherever that is, where it sits. I mean, say what it is. I mean, a pocket knife was thrown out and hit one of our staff members. So, I mean, and I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's supposed to be for safety and things like that, and it's a culture that's been accepted to a point, and it hasn't changed, and eventually somebody's going to be seriously hurt, unfortunately.
When did that happen during the game?
In the third quarter.
See, Jason, you're nodding your head. You agree?
Yeah, I do. It's baffled me that the Big 12 thinks that that's acceptable behavior.
Do you see the Joey McGuire? This Joey McGuire says if you throw more than one tortilla, then you're making it about yourself. And I've now officially, I'm begging Jake to make a liner for the show about that. I've waited.
I'm trying to
patiently.
find a better audio. I mean, we have audio. It's just okay. I'd like to find a cleaner version of this.
It's out there.
Yeah.
We'll find it.
I'm frustrated. I know he was frustrated. You know, we've got a new rule in this league, and we know the rule, and we didn't follow it, and we got penalized tonight. To 15-yard penalties, and he was frustrated on that side, and we got to be better. We got to do a better job. We got to find a way to do a better job as a whole, all of us, and we will. I mean, we've got 2 weeks to have a better plan and get the point across of, what the rule is, because it's gonna catch up with us. I mean, the first one nearly did. Because the game was a little bit tighter than what you wanted, but it's going to catch up with us, and it's frustrating because it's kind of like whenever I talk to the guys, make it about the football, so if you get any kind of extracurricular penalties, like we have 15-yarder late in the game, hey, you made it about you, and so if you're throwing tortillas more than once, now it becomes all about you. Like, really are you? Is that a Red Raider, or is that like you came to the game and you love this team and you're passionate about this team, but yeah, you're going to throw another tortilla and it's against the rules? So we got to do a better job, and I've got to do a better job of expressing to the fans how important they are, because the atmosphere tonight was absolutely incredible, electric.
What a topic.
Right? What a weird thing to be sitting here talking about.
If you throw more, I just love it as if you throw more than one tortilla.
You're making it about you.
Yeah, one tortilla, that's about the team.
What are you, you're a Red Raider? You make it about you. Coming out here throwing more than one tortilla? That's not a Red Raider.
I mean, how stupid is this?
I think it's hilarious.
Well, yeah.
This is being now the pocket knife is not hilarious.
Right.
That's not hilarious. But the reason I know you don't want me to bring this up. Nate was on the sideline there many times and experienced that. Why wouldn't I bring this up with Nate?
Yeah, I get it.
Nate, have you had tortillas thrown at you in Lubbock?
Yes.
Did you have to evade tortillas?
I picked it up and took a bite out of it.
Did you ever feel
like Baker Mayfield
I'm not
style.
being funny. Did you ever feel like you were in danger, or were you nervous, like, I hope I don't get hit with something else? I mean, was it ever bad?
I will say
was it
this
fun?
though. When I was down there and they would throw tortillas, it was like a few. There was like out of nowhere you'd see like a tortilla come flying.
Not thousands.
Maybe like my house, it's a couple tortillas thrown around. Okay.
Yeah. You're not like dodging tortillas.
Well, I don't. But you like, and Jake, I'm sorry, Jake, I love you, but you can't speak to this. You haven't been. You've been in a tortilla factory. Right?
Oh,
where
yeah,
you used to work?
I've thrown tortillas around.
Yeah, you've been throwing those around.
I mean, you got to inspect them. You got to burn one. You got to throw it off the line.
You've thrown them.
I've thrown them.
But you haven't been in Lubbock trying to dodge them, and he has.
They're corn
so
tortillas.
I had to ask him when he came in here.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel like this is getting out of hand? Or?
No, but it was different back then. It was
That's all I wanted to know.
there was just a random tortilla every once in a while.
Now
it's
everybody.
like thousands of tortillas. First of all, what are we doing wasting delicious tortillas?
That pisses me off.
That's what I
to
said.
begin with.
I mean,
that's what pisses me off.
That's outrageous.
There are people that are hungry out there.
Yes.
And you're wasting
delicious tortillas.
I mean, and if you throw a pocket knife, you're an idiot.
Yeah, not only are you an
stupid.
idiot, you really can hurt somebody.
Right.
I mean, like.
But that's a precedent that you're setting, that it's okay to throw
to chuck things on the field.
Right, and that's like
the guy, whoever did that, knows you shouldn't throw a pocket knife.
Well, he clearly doesn't know that.
Well, because he was, like I said, he's a dick.
Right.
Sorry, let me tell you, there's no defending
we don't
that.
know it was a he. I mean,
or
probably
whatever.
was.
But you can't sit there and say, well, everyone else throwing tortillas, so I'm going to throw a pocket knife. No, stupid.
Yeah,
no.
right.
I'm
Use some
willing to
common
bet
sense.
that's probably not the only thing that was thrown that wasn't a tortilla.
Okay.
When you start having thousands of tortillas being thrown, then it
go.
does kind of muddy the waters.
That's all I wanted to know.
But I do like that idea. One tortilla, about the team.
Right.
Two tortillas,
make it about yourself.
selfish.
That's why I just liked him addressing that in that fashion in that press conference. We'll take a break. Back after this on WHB. What's up, Kansas City? Stephen St. John here for Window Nation. Don't throw tortillas out of your windows, especially if they're from Window Nation, all right? And look, with October here, if you've got old, stuck, or cracked windows, that means you're back to dealing with chilly air seeping into your home. Eliminate annoying drafts once and for all with Window Nation. This month, buy 2 windows, get 2 for free, plus pay nothing for 2 years. With the holidays coming up, that's a big, big deal. And Window Nation has an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. Don't miss out on free windows and 0 payments for 2 years. Visit windownation.com before October 31st to get started. And again, you could take advantage of this great deal. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, plus pay nothing for 2 years. All before October 31st to get started. windownation.com. And when you talk to Window Nation, tell them SSJ sent you. Welcome back to New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Stephen St. John and Nate Bukaty now joined by Mark Borick, your former Chiefs wide receiver. Hello, Mark. How are you?
Doing well. Looking forward to talking about Lubbock, Texas, boys. Let's go.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Lubbock.
Yeah.
What do you think of the tortilla controversy? The tortilla incident?
You spent some time down in Lubbock.
I spend quite a bit of time down in Lubbock. More so from January, like in the spring, late winter, spring, in the off season a little bit for football with my role at Huddle. It's my territory.
That town has changed a lot in the last 20 years. I mean, it's grown up a lot.
Lubbock's not a bad place. Man.
No. But it was pretty desolate when I first started going there, and then it just seemed like everything around campus started to really bloom or blossom, whatever you want to
There's
call
a lot
it.
of growth in South Lubbock and Southwest Wolford, Texas. Friendship High School down there.
It's just
suburbs.
It's just out there. That's the thing. You know what
it's
I mean?
out there.
It's out there.
You get some times in February out there where I call it a brown day when the wind starts blowing and the tumbleweeds are flying, and it's there's a haboob, right, on stuff. It's a good place. You want to know you asked my question. I should probably answer the question. I don't. Like, there are traditions in college football, I think, that are, I don't want to call them sacred, but that are people hold on to like they're sacred, right, on stuff. Mm-hmm. The tortilla thing has always been a thing at Texas Tech, a little bit. However, we are in a day and age now where, more so than anything, security at athletic events and the safety of the participants and the people on the sidelines and coaches and everything else is of the utmost importance. And we were talking about this off air, like, the Detroit Red Wings, from a hockey perspective, used to always get the octopus thrown on the ice, right? And it's kind of a tradition, not really that big of a deal at the end of the day, but when you start throwing stuff on the field, everybody's safety comes into play. And I can tell you, in terms of talking with some folks down in Lubbock, in the past few weeks on stuff, this has been an issue before the KU game, right, on this. And I also find the policy of the Big 12 around it that you can just throw one tortilla a little farcical from the standpoint of how do you even control that? It's the issue is that people aren't just throwing soft tortillas anymore. It becomes other objects, right? Whether it was, I know there's been talk about a pocket knife, whatever it might be, right? Like, it's never really acceptable for me to throw anything on the field. That's where I'm going with it. I don't think it's acceptable to do. So,
well, we'll find out
whether it's against KU or not.
Right, we'll find out if the Big 12 has anything else to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, Nate Bukaty's not standing on the sideline down there anymore, so there's no reason to throw anything down there, right? So.
That's exactly right.
Somebody needs to put some audio in there of Joey McGuire's quote and be like, I mean, Nate Bukaty is no longer down here with Kansas on the sidelines. There's no excuse for us to be throwing anything anymore.
I don't think I really ever had anything else thrown at me. Like, you get some pretty good verbal, abuse or whatever from fans walking by and stuff like that. But that's the only time I remember anything getting thrown.
So last night on Monday Night Football, two, I guess we'll call them upsets. Atlanta beats Buffalo 24-14, and then Washington, with a chance to put the game away, fumble in a botched exchange between quarterback and running back, and Chicago recovers, and they ride DeAndre Swift into field goal territory, and they kick the game-winning field goal. And so two opponents that will be on the Chiefs' schedule here in the next couple of weeks both suffered really disappointing losses last night, Buffalo and Washington. What did you take away from Buffalo's loss to Atlanta?
Well, what I take away from both of those is this is the National Football League, and there doesn't really seem to be a team early on this year. It seemed like it through the first 4 weeks of the season. That there were some teams that were really the cream of the crop, but it's all kind of coming back down to earth now. I think there's a lot of really good teams in the league, but the parity is starting to show. And it's also showing that every single team goes through a little bit of a slump throughout the course of the year, right? The Chiefs seem to have that early on. Maybe still going through it a little bit, but we've seen obviously a lot of progress, specifically from the offense, and we'll get into this on it. But look, it's still early on in the season, but you're starting to see, I think, these 4-2 teams, these 3-3 teams, are the ones you got to start keeping your eyes on, because you go on a little 2-game run of wins, back-to-back wins, and all of a sudden you're in a great position, whether it be in your division or in your in your conference in the AFC or NFC, of talking about yourself as a playoff team. So I think there's obviously a little more vested interest in us on what the Bills are doing, based on over the last couple of years. The Bills, along with the Chiefs, along with the Ravens, along with a few of those teams, right, have all kind of been the cream of the crop in the AFC. And you're starting to see, I think the Bills are thought in a lot of ways, even though they haven't got over the hump, the next big challenger to the Chiefs. And now they're on a 2-game skid, right, against a couple teams that maybe people didn't think were necessarily all that good. But, oh, by the way, you look at the Patriots are 4-2, right? And then the Falcons obviously have a ways to go as well in a lot of ways, but they're a 3-2 football team right now in that NFC South division. And obviously the Bucs are playing really, really well, and Baker Mayfield's playing really well. But these all could be playoff teams right now that are knocking off the Bills is where I'm going with this. So it doesn't mean that they're on a slide, but it's going to be an exciting time here. It's all that more important, I think, from the win from Sunday night that the Chiefs got to get themselves to 3-3 here, with some guys coming back and starting to right the ship.
And not only is Buffalo showing that they're human, but like you mentioned with the Patriots, I mean, they have it looks like they have a real contender to deal with in the division,
which they haven't had. I know the Dolphins made the playoffs a couple years ago, but they have not had really that much of a challenge in the AFC East. Now, you could also say that about the Chiefs in the AFC West a little bit too, right? But if you're dominating your division, that also means you're winning those games, and you probably, whether you should or not, you're still taking care of business.
If you had to put money on a team to win their division, who would you put money on, Denver or New England?
I would say New England, because I think the Chargers and the Chiefs are both better than Denver.
All right, then, let's go. Back after this on WHP. Yo, what's up, Kansas City? Stephen St. John here for Custom Lawn and Landscape. And look, you can do more in the fall to help your lawn more than any other time of the year. And Custom Lawn, they're my go-to guys. Early fall, best time of year to seed your lawn. And if you don't know whether to power rake, verticut, air rake seed, or what type of seed to use, and if you should fertilize when you seed, if that has you confused, then you need to talk to my friends at Custom Lawn and Landscape, because they have all the answers. They can take the guesswork out of it. Their lawn renovation packages include 3 follow-up visits throughout the fall to make sure your investment is working the way it should. So call them today, 913-782-8315. Check them out online at customlawn.com. Custom Lawn and Landscape. They will do great work at your house, just like they've done awesome work at my house. Call them and find out. 913-782-8315 or online at customlawn.com.